Hello everybody, my name is James Turnipseed. Welcome to American Horror Story Hotel episode Chutes and Ladders recap review. Spoiler heavy if you didn't know, but let's read the description from television. Chutes and Ladders. Fashion mogul Will Drake brings couture to a hotel. Cortez, the model, catches the Countess' eye. John learns about the hotel's sadistic first owner. Pretty much what happens. Don't even remember how it started. This episode so long, an hour and 42 minutes. I'm hoping the whole season's not like that because the first one was. But started off with Sally bringing a person back from the dead. I'm pretty sure it was the junkie that got butt raped in the last episode. She sewed him into the mattress, which also happened in the first episode. A guy jumped out of the mattress at the Swedish girls. Turns out Gaga is actually a vampire, like I thought, and the little children are vampires as well. They feed on. They don't have fangs. We learned later, but I'll get to that. They're feeding on. The little children are feeding on the Swedish girl who didn't get away and get stabbed in the throat in the lobby. And then little Holden says, "Ew, tastes gross." And it's because she actually was dead. So you're not supposed to eat dead vampire or dead people, or suck the blood from dead people, I guess. And then it showed the children in their playroom where they're playing Space Invaders and Donkey Kong and games from my childhood from the early 90s and the 80s, which is cool. Nostalgia. But I was kind of thinking, why aren't they playing new games? Because the kids, they're young, I guess. I don't know. And I forget her name. Kathy Bates is giving them like a blood transfusion. She's like taking out their blood and putting it into a vial, which Lady Gaga is the Countess. And I forget her boyfriend's name. Doesn't matter though, because like they said, Scarlett, actually John's little daughter, shows up at the hotel, and there's a big fashion party, and it's Will Drake's fashion show. There's I think it was the lady from Coven, the Black Voodoo Queen. She also has a three-breasted woman in Freak Show. I didn't catch her name. They said it really quickly and briefly. But she has an eye on John. And then him and his little Scarlett are there. And they get him tickets to the fashion show. And she sits with Will Drake's son. And he says, she's like, "This is my first fashion show." Like, she's all excited and cute. She's like, "It's my millionth. Maybe later I'll show you something cool." And I immediately thought he's gonna take her to the game room and she's gonna see her little brother who was kidnapped. And oh my god, the feels. You know, like, oh, that's cute in a horror movie or a horror TV show. That's not what happens though. They actually go down a long hallway and I thought, like, oh, it's an empty pool. But it's actually the little kids' coffins, and he tells her, like, there's no way to wake them up, like, see? And she's looking at Holden's coffin. And he taps on it, and his eyes go wide, and then it cuts to commercial, and we're like, oh, she just saw her little brother. But in the previous episode, she was talking about how she didn't remember what he looked like and like all kinds of stuff like that. And then it cuts to a scene of her on the bus, and I'm thinking, how did this look like? She ran away from school, or because they have a police escort on her, the mom. And yeah, there's like a police escort all the time. Speaking of the mom, she shows up in the episode and they talk about people who don't vaccinate their kids, which to me, like, I don't care, because there's studies. That's a whole different video. But there's a son with measles, and he's coughing, and the mom's talking to her, and then I immediately thought, like, she's a doctor who makes house calls in 2015 or 14, whatever year it is, but it's like modern day. But whatever. She talks about the lady, like, oh, I told you should have got him vaccinated, and blah 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 blah. And there's no cure for the measles, just Tylenol for the fever and rest. And then they thought, like, oh, that's pretty bad that she's a doctor for kids mostly that makes house calls and stuff since she lost her little boy. But yeah, back to Scarlett on the bus. She takes a bus to the hotel, runs back down to that coffin place. All the coffins are open. And then she finds a passage to the game room, and she sees little Holden sitting there, and he's like, took you long enough. And you're like, oh, damn. And then she shows him a picture of them at the beach. It's him, her, their mom and dad, and he remembers all of them. And she's like, oh, cool. She's excited, and she's like, I can't wait to take you home. Mom and dad are gonna be so excited. And he's like, I am home. You can go visit whenever you want. And you're like, dang. And then she takes a picture on her phone, because what 7-year-old doesn't take the bus by themselves and have their own phone, right? I think she's 7 at least. I'm not sure. But then you remember they're vampires, and the vampires can't take pictures. So she goes home, there's police at the house, and you're thinking, like, oh, shit, the mom's dead, is what I thought. But she hasn't been home for hours. The police escort doesn't know where she went. They lost their other kid. They're both there. She goes in, she, like, sneaks into the house, and she's like, Daddy. And then they're like, oh, my God, where were you? What happened? And she blows up on him, because she's like, I found Honan. He's alive. You lied to me. And they're like, he's dead. Blah. And then it shows, like, she slams the phone into her dad's chest, and he kind of breaks down and, like, freaks out, and she, like, storms off to her room. And then the mom says, like, I can't believe you made me go through that again. And he's like, you blame me for Holden? Because we also learned that he he walked in on because he's having a drink with Kathy Bates and Sally. And she tells him, like, oh, when's the last time you drank? Like, what's your last drug? Tell me in detail. Because you're a junkie. And he tells her about the story of his, like, one of his cases, and he walked in on a family homicide and, like, suicide, plus homicide, suicide. And turns out the dude brought in a heater, like an outdoor heater with a generator for to keep the family warm, and the heater part broke, and the family died of carbon monoxide poisoning, which I actually went through one time. And then he came in and shot himself because he walked in on his family dead. And that's the last time he drank, and then that's like a day later, or 2 days later, because he went on a drinking bender and didn't go home. And then he took his family to the beach to make up to his wife, and that's when Holden got kidnapped. Oh, and they introduced Dandy's character named Tristan, which is the fashion model that Countess Lady Gaga has a knife for. And he's crushing up pills, and it doesn't tell you what kind of pills, but he's like crushing them up and sniffing them with a rolled up dollar, because he's a junkie, because he's a model. And then he goes through the thing and, like, makes out with some chick, and almost gets in a fight, goes back inside, starts crushing up pills, and then his agent's like, the show's not over, and he's like, it's over for me, I'm getting out of modeling. And he gets scissors and he cuts into his face, because when you're a model you have to be all pretty and stuff. So he cuts a scar right here, and you could tell Lady Gaga had a thing for him, because she gave the vampire eye thing where it's like boom, seductive. You know what I'm talking about? And then she has sex with him and turns him. So if you want to see Lady Gaga naked, but not really, and taking it from behind, YouTube the video, like Google. I'm sure you can find it. A lot of Lady Gaga in her underwear. We learned that she was born in 1904 and got turned by some handsome devil and fell in love with him. And we also learned that they cut and suck blood. They don't have fangs, which is what Tristan asked her. And they found that out. And there's a blow up between the ex and the new guy. I don't know, that part's weird. And then we learn about James Patrick March, JPM, which is Tate. He showed up in when Tristan was looking for coke in the hotel, and some chick was tied up, and he's like, bondage bores me, and he's like, me too, blam, shoots him. JPM, James Patrick March, is the person who built the hotel because he made money in oil and coal during the Great Depression, and then moved west because people on the east were like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Didn't appreciate his art style, and he built the hotel with hallways with secret passages and chutes to nowhere, hallways to nowhere, because it's a torture hotel. So it's like a hotel, and they're built with asbestos in the wall, so the walls are insulated so you can't hear screaming, even though you kind of can hear sex and screams and stuff like that. But turns out he spent torturing people the whole time. He's a serial killer who hates religion and wants to kill God, actually. And Miss Ethers is the laundry, like the maid, and she was fascinated with JPM and could get any stain out of any piece of cloth with her secret ingredient, love, for James Patrick March. And they showed him killing and murdering a whole bunch of people, and Kathy Bates actually told John the whole story of JPM and why the hotel, like, he's trying to figure out what's going on with the hotel. And he also got a package from the hotel, which was a Oscar covered in blood. And then he pieces pictures or like evidence of a whole bunch of, there's like old clips from newspapers. And he basically figures out that there's a serial killer that's killing the 10 Commandments, like adultery and thou shalt not kill, honor thy mother and father, and thou shalt not steal, and stuff like that. So he figured out they're all connected, and they go through it, and pretty much that's what happened. That was this episode. So feel free to like this, if you like the video, leave some comments. Let me know you watched this show. You waiting for Netflix? I know it doesn't come out on Netflix for like a year. Are you watching Freak Show? There's a American Horror Story playlist on my channel that you could get all my reviews for Freak Show, plus this hotel season. Every Wednesday, Hotel, Sunday, Walking Dead, and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I put out personal videos. Mondays, unboxings. Wednesdays, usually gaming. And then Fridays, usually something more personal about me, top 5s, that kind of stuff. But yeah, feel free to subscribe. I'm trying to grow and build a whole community type of thing, you know. Let me know what's up. Peace, I'm out of here. Have a good weekend.